Good morning. Something's weird going on in the markets here. There's this strange pattern that's reemerged into today that started a few days ago. And something that we saw a lot in the past, and all of a sudden we're seeing it again, and it's called a pullback. We've got the beginnings here of a 3-day pullback rather than the typical sideways or whippy up and down and then just march ahead. We saw one a few months ago, and that was, happened after quite a while. So making a little bit of a joke here, but the markets are, retracing here a bit. We can see the hourly charts, up here and just working their way down toward this support over here. So maybe we got a little bit more downside before buyers are stepped up. So what we look for is momentum slowing down, and it is. Of course, it can speed back up again. So, when we see prices start to move, and we see things like wide range bars and like boom, right? Fast move to the downside into support. Well, we don't want to short into support, even though it got fast. What we want to see is an inability to get back up here. And so there was lots of jiggles over there and, a little pickup in momentum again. And things are just flattened out here over the last several hours. And while they're back down, maybe they're going to drop a little bit more. One second here. That's typically what we look for is, once a break begins, and of course, we're just talking about an hourly chart here. Once a break begins, our expectation is that, it goes down here. Now, those that would say, hey, look to the left like me, but they're looking beyond the left to the left. They're saying, well, what resistance should become support and so on. But when you're looking to the left as an intraday trader, you're not looking over there, right? What's beyond to the left, you're looking at what's right here. And that's because on the way up, there was a reaction to what was to the left here. And that's the little area of support right in here. So nobody knows whether it's going to stop here because it's kind of a wide, whippy little support area here intraday. And the way it went up from here was like straight up. So does it stop right here where it's at right now? Or is it dip down a little further? We'll find out in a little while. But this is the area where buyers should begin to step up. And then we just look for, if this pattern that's developing right here, exactly what we're looking for in a sense of momentum is slowing down, right? The lows as it pushes to new lows, the lows are getting closer together. That's slowing momentum. Right? You don't need an indicator to read that. All you need to do is say, where's that low in relation to that low? And where's that low in relation to that low? And they're getting closer together. Whereas if you look in here and here, you're saying, oh, that's increasing in momentum, getting further apart. So now if it goes sideways a bit more, well, that's what we call a rounding bottom. And then maybe things turn back up. So we're waiting to see here this morning whether that happens or maybe does it happen down here, right? We do have 29,000 as a level that's kind of right there. So in any event, we'll figure it out during the day as it forms. And so S&Ps, less of a pullback, right? So topping tail, right? A distribution candle, and it was rejected after pushing up to a new high. But one of the things to look at, you look at a topping tail candle and go, oh my God, the market's starting a correction here. It's a top. Well, maybe it is. Recognize the topping tail, but also recognize what this looks like on a closing basis. If there was any real damage done. And so if we connect the closes, kind of looks like a bull flag to me. Little mini bull flag coming out of a consolidation. So if the S&Ps are going to show some relative strength to the Dow, maybe the retest of this low that's happening right here is where, this begins to shift up. So another thing that we'll be keeping an eye on to see how that shapes up here. So we do day to day, right? So there's the topping tail high, and here's the pullback, and now it's retesting the support, and kind of get a trading range going now, and we'll just wait to see, does it hold here, or it's going to dip down to the next level. 3,300's there as well. We know buyers, they step up on the dips every time. Someday that'll come to an end, but it's going to look a little more ominous than this. That doesn't look ominous at all. So we'll see. Sorry about that, Alex. Sometimes I try to be a little dramatic. I got your heart pumping a little bit. That's good. You're alive. You're not a computer. All right. And look at this one. Topping tail. I know it's early in the day, but as we consider the concept of relative strength and relative weakness and think about this in the same way, up a little, up a little. So small candle bodies tell us momentum is slowing, but it's showing relative strength to the S&Ps. Now, if at the end of the day it looks like this, say, uh-oh, right? Broke through 9,100, did it on a closing basis. Well, let's think about maybe the 9,000 area getting touched or somewhere in there. We'll see. This is what we do day to day, bar by bar. What's the trend? Trend is up. Is it showing you bullish price action? Yes, it is. Any damage been done so far? No. Just some slowing momentum. Let's take another day of information and see what happens. Greg, your possible bull flag, yes. How vertical does the flagpole need to be, or is it subjective? Well, I don't like to pin things down, Robert, really to say this is it, because, yeah, we can start with that, but I'm not going to get my protractor out, so to speak, and say, hey, it's got to be, this much, and it's got to pull back at this degree. And so on. It's more of understanding, patterns. We could find something that would say, wow, that's like the textbook type of flagpole where, maybe, this had one momentum day. And so maybe it had, 3 momentum days up, and then maybe you had 3 or 4 or 5 downward sloping bars and so on. So once you get the essence of what it's supposed to be, which is basically momentum up and just a downward sloping move looking for the turn up. It's just, we don't have to be like, Mr. Fibonacci 68.2, 61.8, whatever the number is, who the hell cares? You get my point. We're not trying to get something nailed down to a decimal point and, the perfection and so on, right? Right. And Alex is pointing out SHAK, shack, as a flag. Yeah, so there you go. So look, be flexible. Be flexible. Understand the essence of what a flagpole is. It's a momentum move, and it's a consolidation with a little bit of a downward sloping slant that creates support with a void below. How that looks one day or the next, who cares? I got the essence of it. And that frees you and allows you to participate in many different patterns because you know the foundation of what it is. You got it, right? So if it throws you a little curveball, kind of if it's helpful to do that, just visualize it on a closing basis and see what it looks like. Mike in the YouTube saying, well, when the market go down, maybe never. It'll go down, Mike. Been here before. Believe me, it's going to go down at some point. And as long as you're here in YouTube or in the green room with us, I'm going to tell you one. And we're gonna know how to trade it, and we're gonna, review our market internals and do our multiple time frame analysis and so on and so forth. And we're gonna find the next low. And as scary as it might look, I'm gonna ask you to take the first trade and test it out and see if you lose any money on it or what happens. I'm kidding there, but okay, let's keep going here so Dan can get on. All right, so here we are, the Russell futures. And so the little bit of relative weakness, right? Declining, under the breakout bars low. Is that a bull flag? Pop test. Would we call that a bull flag? Well, maybe. You're right, maybe. But if we want to get, professor about it, let's get our professor glasses on and protractors out and say, well, you know what? That's not really the downward slope that we want, because what we want to see is that downward slope is, I'm kind of eyeball drawing it here, where it doesn't come down as deep, right? But it's a pullback pattern. So it's just something else, right? Do you want steak today, or you want hamburger? In the end, we're gonna like it. So this is pulling back into support. Well, this is what we would call minor support, but here's the reaction on the way up. So this is where buyers should want to step up. Same analysis as we did with the Dow. Now, our multiple time frame analysis of wide range bar breakout on the weekly, we want to see it stay in the upper half. Is it going to do that? Well, if it can make the turn here, yes. So in support, as explained before, what are we seeing? All right, momentum. Let's push this out here. Momentum is beginning to slow down. All right, look at the distance between the lows. This hasn't made a turn yet, but it's making maybe a higher low. So maybe the beginning of a bottom here. We'll see. Just not sure yet, but market's been correcting a little bit the last few days. Some markets more than others. And so now we'll see if this corrective process that's been going on, right, in the Qs, it's been more sideways. In the Russell, it's been more to the downside. We'll see if this is over. Oil, heading down to the bottom of the range. And so it couldn't hold here. Now it's going down there. So 55, let's see if buyers want it in that level. And this measured move thought says it's not going to hold at 55. It's more eyeballing it to go down somewhere, maybe around 53. And look at the angle, right? The angle that came down. There's your bear flag, right? More of an upward sloping bear flag. And now it's dropping. So oil looks like it's going to go lower. Well, it is going lower, stating the obvious, right? We'll just see if it keeps going. And look at how it picked up on momentum on the 60-minute chart, right? So this isn't done dropping yet. So how do I know when to say is the momentum stalling? When it big turns back up. When the red bars stop and it turns back up into a green bar and it starts heading higher or going sideways like it did here. Right, so this had some pretty good momentum, right? Big wide range bar. And now it's heading lower again. And that pattern says, hey, it ain't stopping there, but let's see what it does. Bonds perking up here, right? With this deep retracement we've been talking about. So a little bit of bearishness here. Oh, traders picking up some bonds, but what about gold? Right? Seems to be no love over there for gold at the moment. So if the market was going to go down, gold, that's the way it's been, should perk back up, not happening. And silver, No. Nope, 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 not doing it yet. And we're coming into some support. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll wait for the event that we talk about. Wait for that event. And transports. What the hell? Breakouts aren't supposed to come back in like that. It's almost reversing this breakout bar that was beautiful last week. So we got today and tomorrow to get that into maybe a bottoming tail bar where the body is up in the upper third there, and that would be okay. And then we press the accelerator long on transports, but that's not happening yet. But, you know, it's coming into the support area. So we got the weak ones coming into support, the transports and the Russell. We've got the S&Ps, you know, showing that relative strength. They're sitting on that support there, which is that bottoming tail bar. We'll see if it can make the turn. We've got the NASDAQ showing relative strength, but with that, you know, it's just going sideways, but it's got room to drop. So I'm kind of like bullish to neutral here, maybe a little on the bearish side intraday until proven otherwise. And that's it. All yours, Dan.
Greg, do you want to look at BTC for James? Bitcoin, I guess.
Quick read on Bitcoin. A little bit of it. We would have liked this to become a bull flag, right? And now it's dipping down again. So that doesn't mean this move is over, you know, but you got a nice shakeout or head and shoulders type of a bottom here. And it just got close, got relatively close to the resistance and started backing off. So it's got to do some backing and filling here. And so if you're long, you just hope that it doesn't come all the way back in, you know. The weekly looks okay.
Yeah, that was kind of the prior consolidation was a little bull flag right there. You know, just 3 bars, but still. All right, all our opens are fine. There's a little bit of strength in the semis, but mostly weak. So we still have an LRCX put spread, FISV. We're long stock and trail mode. We got a nice gap down here in Tesla, but buyers stepped up here. That's actually you know, still in a downtrend, but this is strength and this is bullish consolidation. We have a call spread that expires tomorrow. Amazon gapping down a little bit, but we have a put spread way under this base. So it, you know, $1,800 stock being down $2-3 is nothing. We need the melting ice cube for tomorrow expiration. Space, we were watching yesterday. And remember, we were talking about yesterday, I said I would love for this thing to gap up another, you know, 10%, and then we'll short a call spread under a 10-minute low. And this tail is real. It was trading up here. And then on the ticker, I just saw it getting more negative and negative. But this is now, so now it's gapping down into this bar. This is a definite bear call credit spread watch. There's a ton of earnings. So let's go right to those. LVS and Win had a nasty gap on the virus fears, I guess, gapping down again, but there's no pattern at all. This thing had a nice week or two, and now it's gapping down. Now it's an ugly gap down to $7 here. Yeah, Marriott looked great yesterday. Yep. Yep, Marriott was a 1, 2, 3. That was a definite hold if you were in it. There's a little bear flag again. Look at that. You know, there's your flag pole. There's your, you know, bearish retracement. So that, yeah, that looks good. Space PTC, $85. That's a big old gap, but too big, nothing to do with it. 79.90. This could be a 30-minute high. It's holding very well. Little downside shakeout. Anything up, anything green right now, you know, with the market gapping down this much is bullish. And so I'm just looking at our open. So the LRCX, our GE dog got an upgrade today. So that's a nice move. We're still in Mixie in trail mode. CTXS, that's too extended and gapping up. That's one I'd be selling in the strength if I were in it. Texan. Oh, I thought this was last night. I thought it was up. Now it's a nasty gap. A full, too spotty. I don't like the way it trades. You're gone. UMPQ at earnings. I can't tell what you're doing, but nice monthly breakout. This could be a core trade. Look at that. Who says charts don't work? Look, support came crashing down. Multi-month getting his sea legs back, the 10 MA curling up, price void, that looks good. Provided the pattern doesn't get destroyed when the market opens. Slim Shady, 11 bucks. Because of this big vertical move here, this could be a day trade short under a 10-minute low. Slug, I can't tell where you're gapping. Yeah, there's a lot of earnings. Another regional here getting whacked. That's 92 bucks. That's a big gap. Look at that. That's the biggest gap since, as far as my chart goes back here to March. Wow. And Greg mentioned that in the weekend letter that IWM is going to be affected by all the regional banks reporting this week. CNS can't tell what you're doing and no great pattern. Katie, same. BXS, you're spotty. I'm just going to delete you. KMI, it's a bear 1, 2, 3. It's up 13 cents, but under these lows, that should be a nice start off with a day trade. Hold it if it closes weak. UNP 165. It's just junk. I got no interest in that. WBS will come back to you. There's another little bull flag on the weekly. There's your flagpole. The textbook is, flagpole, and it can't be 45 degrees. That's not a flag. That's a self-correcting uptrend. So, just as Greg said, don't pull out the protractor, but it's an obvious pole. From here to here is my pole. And then we like 30-degree controlled retracement. So there's your bull flag on the weekly right there. So that one's worth keeping. No volume, spotty, you're gone. High band, another regional, but you're a junk pattern. And, for the new people, I could go through all these myself pre-market and just show you the best ones, but that's not then you hearing my analysis of each one and why I'm either deleting it or leaving it as a tier 2. We'll come back to it in 30 minutes, or it's a tier 1 where I say, wow, this looks fantastic. So this one, it's right here at the 200, but still looks lower. I'm just going to delete that one. UMPQ. Yeah, that's the one I just talked about. So that could be a core long. Let's see what it does at the open. AG, FCX, 1145. The problem with AG is it's gapping too big. I don't even need to look at the price over here, the price axis, because I'm looking at the candles in relation to prior candles. So look, this thing's opening right here, 10 cents under this. There's nothing to do. You don't short something that's dropped 1350 to 1140 on a big gap down. All right, PG. Now, this has been on a tear on the monthly chart. This was actually a bullish pattern. If it could have chopped sideways for a few more days, but now it's gapping down 124 and change. So there's no pattern. We'll come back to it maybe for a bear call credit spread. This is a big mess. You're gone. WBS we looked at, VFC. 88.65. Here's another one that's too big. It's gapping to the 200 right above it. We'll come back to it. If it has a big wide range up bar in the first 30 minutes, so if buyers step up there, we might be able to sell a put spread. Tomorrow's expiration, so I would love selling put spreads that expire tomorrow. UNP 184. That's a gap in resistance, no pattern. J, no interest. Key, trying to go fast here. We got 1 minute. Key's regional bank's actually acting bullish, 1984, but no great pattern. Can be a put spread candidate if you go through the checklist and get juice. Now, see, this end of earnings, when you have a climactic sell setup in the earnings like this, history says it's probably going to gap down tomorrow. If it's an igniting bar like this and it was earnings, I would say the odds say it's going to be a gap up. Similar to Alex's IBM. Yeah, we should have joined you, Alex, because that's exactly what I just said. It had a nice bullish close from a multi-week. Yeah, I wish we joined you on that. LUV, it's down, it's gap. So Augusta, compare this to your FCX. This one looks like a much better short, even though it's down multiple bars, because you got a breakout failure. You got a bearish close on support, and it's gapping under support. Not a great swing setup. It's sloppy, but for a day trade, I'm just making the point. This is better. That one's better than FCX. This one, MTBs, we looked at before. AVX, that looks like a buyout. A whatever, no pattern, you're gone. There's your FCX again. COLB, that's on support, nothing to do. Look at all these earnings, wow. That's a mess. BAN, hey, there's well, this one's at monthly resistance, but that's a bullish gap on the daily. Bullish weekly, that one's worth watching. There's Tesla, our bear call credit spread. This is a big old mess.